Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back for your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. With that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. So, to some people, today was a beautiful day. To most people out there, it probably really wasn't, because again, you have to have some time in this market to be able to go through days like today where we have a full reset of the market. And it was only, listen, it was going to happen because this is something that we were expecting for a little bit of time. I'll talk a little bit about it as well, and I'll address this. I did put out a post on X, and I even talked a little bit about it in the Discord as well, even in the Patreon Discord, because, you know, as we start to see meme coins going crazy, it's typically a sign that a correction is going to be coming. It's close, and we are now here. Now, I do see a lot of panic ensuing over on X. In the last 24 hours, we've been seeing Black Swan trending. We've been seeing Capo trending. It's mainly a lot of people overreacting and getting bearish at the bottom, as they typically do. Now, as we look at XRP, is it a top loser? Technically speaking, yes, it is, but it's not as bad as most people are making it out to be. I see a lot of people panicking. Here's a 24-hour span. These are the top losers in the market. Again, XRP is not even on this list, I don't think, right now. Let me refresh this, make sure that this is up to date. So there we go. XRP is on this list, but it's below a ton of other altcoins in the space. It's not losing as much as like Solana and them. It's right in the same alley, though. I mean, right now on the 24-hour span, XRP is down about 10.10%. Most of these altcoins are down about roughly 12%, all the way up to about almost 17%. But if we look at the top 500 coins and we make sure that we refresh this, we could see, let me go back to the top 500. We could see that there's a lot of other altcoins in this space right now, down about almost 30%. It's pretty significant in terms of the pullback here. But like I said, this is all healthy in the short term, because in the short term, this might be pretty rough. But also in the short term, what we will see from here is a significant bounce. It takes a little bit of time, roughly about a week or so. It typically lags a little bit, but regardless, this is something that we need it to happen. And in the long-term span, in the full bull run, this is going to be nothing on the chart. Why do I know this? Well, it's very simple. Look back in time. So big shout out to the Wolf of all streets. We have Bitcoin bull market corrections. Here's a chart of meaningful corrections in the run up to $20,000 in 2017. 41%, 38%, 29%, 34%, 41%, 40%, and 27%. Sizable corrections are normal in bull markets, and nothing goes straight up regardless of your favorite narrative. And here we actually have the full on chart of this. I'll open that up in a tab. But then we also have down here Bitcoin bull market corrections number 2. Here is a chart of the meaningful corrections in the run up to $69,000 in 2021, 21%, 17%, 31%, 26%, 55%, and then 25%. You could debate some of these and add smaller ones in there as well. You get the idea. And yeah, I mean, listen, if we look at the corrections in the past, majority of them are major corrections. Right now, what we are seeing on Bitcoin is nothing even close to half of these corrections that we've seen in past cycles. But historically, we need to have these pullbacks in order for the much larger moves to happen in the market. But we were talking a little bit about this, right? So on March 15th, so roughly almost 5 days ago now, I said I wouldn't be surprised if we continue in lick hunting, aka liquidity hunting, into the weekend. Send Bitcoin to the low $60,000 region while alts bleed out a bit more. Then next week we bounce / range before the next wave up. Now, was I a little bit early on the call? Sure, because we didn't get it the weekend, because I was expecting max volatility and also manipulation of the markets during the weekend, because there's no Bitcoin ETF volume to really kind of go off of or anything like that. But hey, it is totally fine. We got it in the actual week. And now that we're kind of in the middle of the week, I wouldn't be surprised by the weekend if we started to see manipulation of the market and we started to see Bitcoin trailing higher. Again, providing a little bit more of some hype to Bitcoin, saying like, hey, look, we're breaking over some levels, we're closing over some levels, the market's back to bullish, and then we continue to trail up into like the 70K plus region. But also, I said in the Discord that we were waiting for $63,000 next, and I did put this out. This was actually over the weekend. I gave a weekly update regarding the weekly candle close. We were closing right at around $69,000, which was significant resistance. It's actually the resistance level that we closed at back in 2021 when the market did top out. So I was expecting us to have a retest of $63,000. Mainly what I was looking at was about roughly $63,000 to about roughly 62.4K. Anywhere within that range is what I was looking at. Now, did we hit my targets specifically? We actually went a little bit lower. I think that we hit like $61,800, which I will talk a little bit about and address in this video. But everyone wants to know about XRP. So big shout out to Credible Crypto, because he's been one that's been looking at a few targets on XRP, and he actually posted this on March 14th. And like I said, I have to give respect to those that have been providing some great, clear updates regarding XRP. And this is the level that he put out. So it was about roughly almost 58.5 cents. It was 58.6, which was a key level that I've had on the chart for a little bit of time as well. And then also 64 cents. This is a great range to really kind of look at when it comes to XRP. And as we do go back over here, XRP is trailing at about roughly almost 59 cents currently. It did tap about 57.6. This is actually 2 taps of this. So it's almost like a double bottom here. We have to watch it closely. We will address this. But this has also started to make a lot of people talk down on XRP and flip bearish, which is something that I've been very happy about, which I'll talk about a little bit as well. But a few people from the XRP community, like for an example, vet_x0, which is a validator on the XRP ledger, he put out a post saying, in times like this, when harping on XRP price is deafening for moments, you'll appreciate all the great people in the XRP community who are not only holding up the morale, but also reminding everyone why they chose XRP ledger with conversations that are nothing of revolutionary. It's a community of hardworking, ambitious, and honest people, from builders, holders, content creators, to normal community members who showed up every single day for years. It adds a lot to my conviction that we have something special here, and we'll keep attracting the greatest people. And I completely agree. But the reason why we are starting to see posts like this, and it's not just from, validators, it is from also content creators, because even me I hate the idea of like content creator or influencer. Mainly when I really look at myself in this space, I'm just merely just a researcher, if I'm being honest. Now I do provide analysis of the markets as well, in the best way I possibly can. But regardless, I'm mainly a researcher. I love researching what's happening around the space and really kind of pinpointing where we're headed. Because in the long-term span of things, I really do think that this market is much bigger than just price action. I think that we're headed towards a technological revolution like no other. And I do think that XRP will be at the forefront of that. But regardless, Moon Lambo did put out a post saying that, people are complaining up a storm about XRP price. They don't realize that they are the indicator, meaning at this time in the market where everyone is complaining and complaining over XRP, guess what? All that complaining, all that negativity, that is what's going to fuel XRP moving higher. Why? Because those are the same people that once we start to see major green candles, majority of them will FOMO in. And also, as we really look at this space, I've been putting out post after post regarding XRP. And, just recently I talked a little bit about the sentiment, right? Everyone is expecting XRP to not move. They're saying like XRP is not a valuable investment. Nobody wants to invest in XRP. And then also XRP at $5 is now hopium. Like everyone has gotten to the point where XRP is now looked at as a major joke, that it's not going to move, it's not going to do this, it's not going to do that, and it's just comical to me. But it all stems from the overall market not having altcoins positioned in a way that we're in alt season. Everyone is expecting alts to run massively because we've been seeing all of these meme coins moving, but they fail to realize that we're not yet in alt season yet. But let's actually address a few things. So first off, Bitcoin. So like I said, Bitcoin did hit roughly 61.almost 5K. I was actually wrong. I thought it hit about roughly 61.8K. Now, the candle close on the 4-hour closed right around roughly 61. Almost 8K, which is why I was actually getting confused a little bit on the level that we closed at. But This area here that we tapped was perfect for demand. We've actually hit our demand zone. The best part is that RSI, guys, RSI has essentially got reset. We tapped this level down here 3 times. We tapped it initially back in on March 16th, sorry. Then we tapped it on March 19th, and we also just recently tapped it again on March 19th. Now, as we really look at the daily chart, because on all lower time frames, guys, Bitcoin looks like it's bottomed on all lower time frames. It was oversold on all lower time frames. It looks like we are going to bounce significantly here. We need to still watch it closely. The number one thing that I'm watching for on the daily chart, on the more macro side of things, is a daily candle close over 61 point roughly 4K. That's what we want to see. Now on the 4 hour, I do have levels here that I'm watching. And this is more so, like I said, lower time frame, more short term. I want to see the 4 hour have a close over 64.4K, which is this level right here. This could technically be moved up a little bit because what we want to actually flip are these wicks here, because what this is significant levels of support where we've bounced off of. For example, we bounced off of it back on March 6th, and we also just recently bounced off of it on March 17th. So what we want to see is 64.5K get a 4 hour close over. As you guys do see, we fought it a little bit earlier today, and then after that we want to see a close over 66.8K. After that we merely target 68.6K, and from there I do think that we are going to retest those highs that we recently had, about roughly 73.7K, and then from there we really look at $80,000. Now on the daily span, I will say this, I have my path here. I do think that from here we will move to about roughly 80.5K before having a significant downtrend happen to about roughly 68.5K. This would be a correction. This would be probably one of the most major corrections that we see this cycle, and this could even lead us down deeper technically if we are looking at this. I mean, we could come down all the way to about roughly 64.5K, which would be about roughly 20%. Right now in this space, guys, we're spoiled a little bit, because if this is our bottom, this is only about roughly 16.55%. And do I have to go back to some of these levels? 41%, 60 or 38%, 29%, 34%, 41%, like around roughly 30 to 40 plus percent is the average. Now, I do think that this is probably one of the shortest corrections, because as we go back here, this is 2021, right? I think that we're kind of starting to see that initial correction at about roughly 17%. The major corrections happen once we expand larger. So this is more so like where we hit like almost $88,000. Maybe we have a deeper correction from there where it is almost like 30% down to like $60,000. Who knows, right? But we need to watch it closely because we've already had major corrections along the way. If we go back here just recently to January, guys, this was a 20+% pullback. And this just happened back in 2024 before we expanded all the way to $70,000+ to a new all-time high. And we've had corrections even back in 2023 as well, where, you know, some of these pullbacks, they weren't shallow. I mean, they were still pretty significant. This was about 21, 22%. Here's another one. You know, this was roughly, 20+%. Then followed by July, this was 22%. So we've had about roughly 20+% pullbacks along the way already, but most people are anticipating 30+, 40% plus pullbacks. I don't think that happens just yet until we get to some of these higher levels, but we still need to be cautious. We still need to be patient, and we need to make sure that we do have some stable coins on the sidelines just in case any of those significant pullbacks do happen along the way, which again, it would be healthy if it did happen. Now, when it comes to XRP, what is everyone talking about when it comes to XRP? Well, it's very simple, right? Like everyone is looking at XRP and saying, oh, well, the USD chart's bearish. Guys, we are more so watching the Bitcoin and the Ethereum pairs. Big shout out to JD757. Again, me, him, and Tokenomics are actually running the private Discord. That's been very, very good for anyone that's been a part of it. If you guys do want to get a look at that, if you want to check it out, there's a link down in the description below, as well as in the comments below. But regardless, you don't need to, jump into any Discord or pay for any services. A lot of the stuff you guys can learn, and I do advise everyone to make sure that you are learning as much as you possibly can in the space to make sure that you are successful without without any private groups or anything like that, because like I said, they are not necessary and they are not needed. But regardless, when we look at the XRP Bitcoin pair here from JD's chart, yeah, this goes all the way back to 2017, 2018, and you can see that bottom trend line, we are getting a significant move off of it, which means that the USD pair, regardless of how it looks right now, it doesn't matter. We are more so looking at these other pairs like the Bitcoin and Ethereum pair. And also big shout out to Credible Crypto, because he's also been showing us the Bitcoin pair on the 3-day, and this one's more so on the 1 hour. And he even said back here, this was on March 12th, he said, still in the position on XRP from below and just added onto it for a third time, averaging up. XRP Bitcoin and XRP Ethereum both just printed and confirmed bullish divergence on the 3-day chart. And over here, we even have on the Bitcoin pair from JD, hidden bullish divergence. Again, you could see it on the bottom there. And then we also have inverse hammer pattern, and then also bouncing off of the 7-year trend line. Now, if we go to this chart, we have, despite all the people in the comments of my last post talking about how we are back where we started after that drop on Bitcoin, the XRP Bitcoin pairing is still 3 to 4% higher than when I tweeted and has maintained a higher low, which means nothing has changed and the idea is still going perfectly to plan. Those who are not understanding this may benefit from studying and understanding the relationship of alt/Bitcoin pairs versus alt USD pairs. And this is something that I cannot stress enough. Guys, it's not so much about the USD pair. You need to understand what moves the USD pair in the space. I think so many people get caught up in just looking at this chart, which is the USD pair, and saying, oh, well, XRP looks bearish. XRP looks like it's done. XRP's dead. But when you look at the Bitcoin pair, when you look at the Ethereum pair, and even when you look at the dominance chart for XRP, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. How so? Well, let's actually address this. So XRP Bitcoin, like I said, bouncing off of the level since going all the way back to 2017, 2018. And this is not, just a small bounce. This is still something that I've been watching for on the weekly. If we look at the price range here, right now, currently, this is up about almost 9%. It did wick to about roughly 15%. And also on the prior weekly candle, it was up about roughly 20%. But to get to this level up here, which is the first major flip that we need, it's almost 75% away. But if we look at the bottom on the RSI, we are in a heavily oversold area going all the way back to 2019, right before we've had a big move on this chart. And this move was off of the lows to the upside of about roughly 59% before it trailed down into a downtrend. Now, this was down into a downtrend until we tapped this bottom level and had that significant rise up in November, right before the SEC lawsuit that killed the momentum on this chart. But this is typically where we want to be looking into XRP, where the RSI is extremely oversold. And on the weekly, on the Bitcoin pair, it has been significantly oversold. We are watching for this to actually cross on the RSI over the EMA on here. And then also on the MACD, we are watching the MACD closely as well to flip green. Now, on the lower time frames, again, on the 3-day, for example, you could see the bullish divergence here. The overall chart is printing lower and lower, and now we're just ranging sideways while the RSI is actually going to the upside, which means, guess what? This chart is technically very bullish right now, but we're just waiting for the actual price, or in this case, the sats, to play its part. When we go over to the XRP Ethereum chart, again, this is on the weekly. This is, and we don't have all the price data going all the way back to like 2015 because that's exactly when Ethereum launched fully. But this does go all the way back to roughly 2017, 2018. We could see that this chart is at the most oversold levels on RSI wise in the entire life cycle of this chart. So as we look at this, right, like we've already got the cross here on the RSI. We're watching for the cross on the MACD, which it's very close, and we're watching for a flip of this level right here. Once we get this flip, I do think that we are going to move pretty fast on the ETH pair. The next level that I'm really interested in is just this level up here, which from the level at which we will be flipping, this level here to this level up here, roughly 0.0001917 to 2328. This is about roughly 21.5% away. On the ETH pair, we're not talking about the Bitcoin pair, we're talking about the ETH pair, but they both look completely bottomed out. Then we have the XRP dominance chart. Now, RSI, check out the RSI on this one. Guys, the most oversold level on the dominance chart since going all the way back to 2014. This is more oversold than July of 2019, which is crazy to think about. Now, this did fully bottom out and then have a significant move in the market up about roughly 49, almost 50%, from 4% to 6%, which was a 2% difference all the way into about roughly October of 2019. Now, that was probably when Coinbase listed XRP. I think it was around that time. So that's probably what helped it move up a little bit. But this time around, I do think that it's more so XRP taking over the market a little bit in terms of moves to the upside. We're watching for this initial flip here at about roughly 1.45%. We're at 1.4% right now. We are about to get a cross on the RSI as well and a cross on the MACD, which will help the overall narrative set in on the Bitcoin pair and also on the ETH pair, which will lead right back to the USD pair. I'm watching this. I'm watching the weekly candle close. We need a close above 58.65, which so far we are holding this. I want us to actually close above the trend line. That would be very preferred. We still need to watch this one closely. I'm expecting a big move on this chart. A weekly candle close above 62.7. Realistically speaking, it could be around roughly 63 cents. 63 cents is my main target, but regardless, a weekly candle close above this will send XRP to 75 cents. We will retest 75 cents, which is the big area of opportunity, because if we can get a close over 75 cents on the weekly, that would be a big move. Now, it's probably not going to happen this weekly candle close, but I'm not going to be surprised by anything at all in this space anymore, because I know that things can happen significantly in a very short amount of time. I go back to July just to give you guys an insight that in one day, a 100% plus candle was realized in just one day. So things can happen pretty quickly, but we need to be patient here. Again, I don't think that right now is the best time to be bearish on XRP at a time where most of these charts look bottomed out. I think that a lot of people are going to regret ignoring XRP at this current moment in time. So one thing to take away from this video is that, yes, we are seeing a correction in the short term, but I wouldn't be bearish right now. And the reason why is because, again, focus on the larger picture. This is a correction in the short term, in the much anticipated longer bullish term. When it comes to XRP, I think majority are going to regret ignoring XRP. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.